Okay, good morning. Welcome to DenzTV. So for now, let us proceed to the next topic, which is competency-based learning material. Alright? So for today's video, you will be able to learn on how to develop CBLM, at the same time how to check your CBLM on your own. Alright? Now, of course, in CBT, my dear trainees, in CBT, it is dependent on the readiness of the learning material. Alright? So take nota. In CBT, it is dependent on the readiness of the learning material. Okay? So in this CBLM, as what I said in my previous video, that this is a simply well designed and carefully developed learning materials that give trainees detailed instructions to guide them through the learning process. Alright? So for this video, you will be able to learn on how to write the preliminary pages of your CBLM. Alright? At the same time, you will be able to enumerate the preliminary pages of your CBLM. At the same time, the components of your CBLM. Alright? So now, first, we have what we call the first page of your preliminary pages is what we call the front page. Alright? So this is now the front page of your CBLM. Alright? So let me discuss it one by one. Alright? So if you have noticed, we have here CBLM or the competency based learning materials. It is because this would be of course your school here. Okay? name of your school and address of your school, it should be stated here. Alright? And at the same time, we have a footer here. Okay? So I deleted the logo and the name for privacy purposes. So here, this is intended for the institution quality assurance system or your institution's logo, school logo. Okay? Here, it should be CBLM on bread and pastry production NC2, and then it followed by you preparing and producing pastry products. It should be stated here. Again, it should be CBLMs on bread and pastry production NC2, preparing and producing pastry products. Okay, and of course date developed, it should be current. Okay, then date revised. Okay, put it none, and then developed by your name. Okay, your name here. And issued by, of course, the abbreviation of your school here. Okay, alright, and then of course the document number as per institution quality assurance system. Okay, that's it, and this is now the page number. Alright, so that is our front page of our CBLM. Alright, so next page would be the trainee's guide on how to use the competency-based learning materials. Okay, so this is now the second page of your portfolio. How to use this competency-based learning material. Okay, so if you have noticed, this page here, are information sheet, self-checks, task sheets, and job sheets. To allow immediate feedback. Answering the self-check will help you acquire the knowledge content of this competency. pwede ito, lagay natin dito, in this module, preparing and producing pastry products. So, pwede din. Okay? So, lagay na lang natin para mas clear sa iba. Okay? So, we're preparing and producing pastry products. Okay? So, good lang to. Ganyan lang. So, in this module, preparing and producing pastry products, you are required to go through a series of, that's correct, that's right. So that would be the CBLM, or how to use the CBLM module. Alright, this would be the second page of your preliminary pages. Alright, so next page rather is the list of competencies. Okay, so these are now the parts of the CBLM. Okay, so if you have noticed, we have the list of competencies, module content, learning outcome summary, learning experiences, information sheet, self-check, answer key, operation sheet, job sheet, and task sheet, performance criteria checklist, and then references. Alright, so this is now the parts of the CBLM that you are going to make. Alright, so now let us now proceed to the list of competencies. So if you have noticed, so this page contains the qualification, title, okay, on the top of the page. Okay, so it should be bread and pastry productions in state 2. Alright, not CBLM on the top part of the page. So it should same with the common competencies and the core So for the module descriptor, just copy and paste from your unit descriptor found in the TR or CBC. Or LO3 for you to make a CBLM. Alright? So in this case, Okay. We have our pastry products are finished according to desired products characteristic. Next is baked pastry products are presented according to established standards. Okay. If you try to look at in the TR, we have your TR. Okay. So these are the TR of bread and pastry production. This would be uh, so the chosen one is decorate and present pastry product. So if you try to look at these are all the performance criteria from the TR, right? So elements, these are the learning outcomes, okay, from the PR. But in CBC, it is known as learning outcomes. But in PR, that is element. Okay, and this is the assessment criteria and the CBC, but in PR, that is performance criteria. Alright? So the chosen one, the chosen LO is decorate and present pastry products. So these are all the performance criteria. So out of this performance criteria, you are going to create a learning contents or topics out of it. Alright? Okay. But if, as what I said earlier, if the topics or the learning contents are too long, simply summarize it into small chunks. Okay? So, if you have noticed in here in the evidence guide in the PR, we have your underpinning knowledge or underpinning skills. When we say underpinning, that is required knowledge. Underpinning skill, the required skills. You can also select here a learning content. Alright? Okay? So if you have noticed, we have our varieties and characteristics of pastry products. Okay? Varieties and characteristics of pastry products. Right? So try to go back to your decorate and present pastry products. We have here a variety and we have here pastry products. So we can actually merge all of these. So we have here pastry product. Baked pastry products are presented according to some list. Okay. Alright. So all the assessment criteria here should be integrated in this particular learning content. Okay, take note ha. All the topics, if the topics are quite related, you can actually merge that one. what are the things to be copied? Number one is the information sheets needed, the answers, the self-check, the task sheets, and then the evaluation, the performance criteria, then information sheets, all of those activities that you are going to do in this particular learning outcome. So, since our learning activities, since our learning content from the previous slide, we actually changed into two learning contents, right? So it should be two information sheets. It should be two information sheets. Right here. If you have noticed, we only have two learning contents. So in every learning content, you are going to make information sheet, self-check, answer key, task sheet, performance criteria, checklist. So all you have to do is to make two information sheets for these two learning contents. So take note, the more learning contents, the more information sheets you are going to make. Alright? So that's it. So it should be all of this here. This one is not the title anymore. It should be the varieties and characteristics of pastry products, and the number 2 is the pastry products itself. Alright? And this one is the instructions, special instructions of your learner for them to be guided. Alright? This one is special instructions. Okay? Other this learning outcome deals with the development of the institutional competency evaluation tool which trainers use in evaluating their trainees after finishing the competency. Go through the learning activities outlined for you on the left column to gain the necessary information and knowledge before doing the task. Then the output of this LO is the complete competency evaluation package for one competency for grade and pastry production. Your output shall serve as one of your portfolio for your assessment evaluation for preparing and producing pastry products. Feel free to show your products to your trainer as you complete them for guidance and evaluation. And after doing all the activities for this LO, decorate and present pastry products, you are ready to proceed to the next LO3, store pastry products. Okay, so that would be the preliminary pages of your CBLM. Alright, that's it. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this video on how to write your preliminary pages of your CBLM. Okay, so I repeat, these are the preliminary pages. Number 1 is the front page, followed by the how to use the CBLM, the list of competencies, then competency summary, the learning outcome summary, and then learning variances. Alright, so if you have questions, please comment down below and then let's talk about it. Alright, so thank you for joining with me and writing your preliminary pages of your CBLM. Thank you and good day.